People believe that someone like me does not exist, that people who have fallen can never become productive citizens able to reach out and help 2 million people so far, and hopefully help more.
Tim spent his life as a parole and probation agent, and in his own way had a special ministry for those men.
Tim was more passionate with his clients than a lot of the other agents were. Tim would stay after, he would talk to them, he would take them to programs and try to work with them specifically.
Everyone has things about them, and yet they are successful, but they don't change the world the way he did, to create a program that's now used all over America and in parts of Canada.
I think it's helped saved a lot of lives, being able to get patients, into treatment instead of locking them up.
Tim is one of those people who has been successful not in spite of his mental illness, but because of his mental illness.
From the time I was 9 years old, I wanted to be a Catholic priest. When my seminary classmates were within 4 months of their ordination, I was on a journey of a very different sort. I began to slip into what was diagnosed as an anxiety neurosis. I had reached the point where I almost couldn't speak. My mind would just go blank. It would just shut down. As I stepped on the gas, 65, 70, 75 miles an hour, I didn't believe in suicide, but I thought that, maybe just something would happen. Telephone poles flashing by like matchsticks, foot to the floor, full tank of gas. And yet the car was slowing down. 75, 45, 10 miles an hour, stop. My radiator had run dry. And within that millisecond, my life was saved. And here I was, forced out of the seminary, and in the very year that my class was ordained, I was sent to the psychopathic building. A total failure as far as anybody could discern. I was furious with God. He had abandoned me. For 13 years, I continued this cycle, moving back and forth in and out of insanity, 5 nervous breakdowns and 5 institutionalizations.
The most miraculous is that he did not give up. He just knew that, I guess, inside that God was the one to depend on, and God was going to take him out of this mess.
In the mental institution I went to, half of the people were drug addicts. We shared stories, meals, dreams, and tears. We were a brotherhood of sorts, and I decided right then, when I was still not in very good shape myself, that if I could ever get well, I'd like to help them. And that's where the dream was born.
He took that experience and made something very positive out of it. As he developed his career, he tried to help people.
Without my faith, I would certainly be dead. Of that there can be no doubt.
He has a faith that I wish I had. It cannot be shaken. It cannot be questioned. It is simply there.
I learned that God could use even what I'd been through for the good. And now as we look back on it, something I certainly couldn't see in those dark years, he has.
It's in his DNA to serve and to help and to bring people to Christ. He fervently believes that.
It's part of who he is. He's there to help.
My desire to help is straight out of the hearts of the Knights of Columbus. Father McGivney, he ministered to the poor. Essentially, I don't so much minister to the poor as I minister to the poor in spirit, those who don't have the spiritual resources.
He's just been a very steady and very inspirational man of faith.
My whole life is a second chance. No, there's no priesthood, but there's a ministry to millions. And I just hope that can continue to grow.